Hi there. It's winter, but in Israel it's still summer, and I'm wearing a short sleeve shirt. That's a great time to start with a new video series. And I asked you if you like to hear the story how a farmer growing in Israel is doing all the way to do farming or to help farmers in Africa. And when you said that you find it interesting, I started only then to think, okay, how do I convey and how do I tell that story to you? And I understood that it's not about business, because for me, although I'm making business, it's not about business. It is much more. And for that reason, and for me to be able to explain many of my decisions, it takes me back many years back. So this will be about Africa, about all the way from Israel, where I am today, but also the rationale and what brought me personally to make this journey. And again, it is many years back. I hope that you will enjoy it. Comment, write down things that you think, love, don't love, hate, whatever. It's okay. I hope you will take some things from this for yourself. Bye-bye. Hi there. Well, to make a spoiler and to explain what I'm going to talk about, I will tell you a little bit about Biofeed today. Well, today, Biofeed is active mainly in Africa, also in Israel, and we are equipped with extremely powerful technology, powerful know-how that enables us to develop crop protection solutions within less than 1 year instead of 20 or 25 years. And we are able to challenge pests that has no other solution, such as fruit flies. And thanks to this, we have developed protocols for the control of those pests, and we are able to export fruits out of Africa, which is the main challenge and the main target of our activity. So I'm going to talk about what enabled us to develop all this and why we had to develop it in order to get to Africa with something that is good for Africa, and why this is something that is going to change Africa economy, Africa agriculture, and make a great business for us and for the Africans and for the Europeans and the entire value chain. Bye-bye. Hi there. Last chapter I spoke about the technology, the protocols that we are now having in Africa that put us in an advanced position compared to everybody else in the world. But it didn't start this way. And what I'm going to focus in this video series is about the vision and where that vision came from and why, and the mission that we are having, and all the way from there, what causes the vision, the mission, the targets, the goals, until where we are. This is the journey, which is a very personal journey. As I started as a farmer growing in a kibbutz, I was a kibbutz member. I had very good life. I enjoyed it a lot. And still, at a certain point, I decided that I want something else. I want something more. Not for myself. And this is the story. I will continue it. Bye-bye. Hi there. Why will anyone leave his own farm, his own orchards, secure, good business, and go to do something completely different that is not in his domain? So to understand this, I will take you many years back. And that brings me after high school. I started working in agriculture before the army, and I started seeing people that spray with very poisons. And I didn't get it. How come? Later, during the army, I studied a lot about the war between the Iranians and Iraq, which was much of it was chemical war. And again, I couldn't get it. And that really became a puzzle for me when later, after the army, I went back to my farm, and once again I saw that what I am spraying is poisonous chemicals, the same as they are bombing each other. And once again, I didn't get it. How come people are using such poisonous chemicals to spray their own food? The same that they kill each other. I didn't get it. So this is one part. Later, while I was traveling around the world, I saw many farmers very poor. And that was in India. The year was 1991. At this point, I decided that whatever I'm going to do in my future, I know that I'm not going to be hungry. So at least I want to do something worthwhile with my life. Something challenging. Something that is unusual. Something that is not more of the same. Still, when I finished my 1-year trip around the world, I went back to my farm, went back to working in my orchards. So it all began after that. But now I think that you start seeing the pieces of the puzzles coming together, and we will see it later, more of it. Bye-bye. Hi there. After I saw the terrible things that people are doing to each other during the Iran-Iraq war by bombing each other with chemicals, and then me and other farmers spraying with almost the same chemicals, our own food environment, and I saw that still it's not enough. Farmers around the world are poor, and I saw it in first hand, mainly in Asia. I go back to my farm, and I go back to farming, and I see that when I use chemicals, the biological control in my orchards are not good. Actually, I'm killing the natural enemies. So, and then I need to spray more. I said to myself again, I don't get it. Nothing I see about those chemicals makes sense to me. Nothing is good about this. It's like maybe an aspirin to someone who is having a headache, but definitely it's also an aspirin for someone who is having cancer. It's not going to cure him. And I get this sense that we need to get something different. I need to get something different. The solutions I am having are not good enough. This is the kind of sense that I'm getting. Bye-bye. Hi there. Biological control, organic farming. In the early 90s, I was having my own orchards. By the way, mainly apples, peaches, nectarines, cherries, later some vines, walnuts, pears. And part of it was conventional, part of it was organic, about 10%. And what I see is in the organic orchards, I also spray. I spray chemicals. And biological control is maybe a little bit better, but not that dramatically better. And in the warehouse, I have part of it for chemicals to spray in the conventional orchards. Another part is for chemicals to spray in the organic orchards. And what I get out of it is that it is, from many point of view, it is the same. Because when a farmer is having a problem with crop protection problem, he's going to the shelf and he's looking for chemicals. Sometimes those chemicals are organic, sometimes they are conventional. But the state of mind is the solution is chemical. And I understand that I don't like it. I understand that the entire concept is wrong. In both cases, I am killing the natural enemies in my own orchards. In both cases, I spread chemicals, poisons to the environment. This is not sustainable, and I don't like it for myself. And the results in the orchards, also not good. Bye-bye. Hi there. Well, until now, I saw how terrible those chemicals that I'm spraying are. And by the way, in those years, in the early and mid 90s, I became an expert to chemical sprays, believe it or not. And I gave lectures about spraying, and mainly about low volume sprays, which is, if you understand anything, in orchards, usually you spray like 10,000 liters per hectare. Well, 1,000 liters per hectare. I was spraying maybe 1/10 of the volume, and even less of it, with extremely good results. But still, even when I was spraying very, very little, very low volume per hectare, the problems remain the same. Even when I was able to reduce the active ingredient I was spraying per hectare by 50%, 60%, still results were not good. I was killing the biological and natural enemies. The biological disruption kept on. I still had to continue every week or every second week, and sometimes twice a week, to spray. I was still using poisonous chemicals. All those terrible things happened whether I was spraying 1,000 liter per hectare or 100 liters per hectare or 50 liters per hectare. Nothing changed. It remained whether I was spraying conventional synthetic chemicals or organic chemicals. It was still the same. And I didn't like it, not one little bit. Bye-bye. Hi there. Organic agriculture. Well, while I was spraying so much, almost every day, in both the organic and the conventional, each one according to its protocol and rules, I noticed something else. I noticed that when I'm selling 1 kilogram of fruits grown under a organic regime compared to the conventional regime, I get much more money for the same kilogram, organic or conventional. And I started asking myself, wait, why do some people are paying me 2 times, sometimes even 3 times more for the organic produce, although it is sprayed? Why is it? I don't get it. I don't understand it. So I have more questions. And I started asking first myself and then others to understand this riddle, this question. And I understand at this point what they are telling me. And what they are telling me is that we care about our health, we care about the environment, and this is why we want to buy organic, and we are ready to pay more. So keep this in mind. Next chapter, I will talk more about this. Bye-bye. Hi there. Organic agriculture and pricing. I continued the last chapter when people were saying that they are ready to pay more because they care about their own health, their family, of course, their friends, and the environment. And for me, I don't get it. Wait, I'm saying to myself, they know, or I know, that I'm spraying the organic. It is according to the law, according to the protocol of the organic. I'm allowed to do it, and this is what I'm doing. And this is what I am instructed by the experts. When you have this pest, you spray this. When you have this, the other pest, you spray this. The same is conventional and organic. And this is what I do. I follow the instructions. But for myself, I don't get it. Okay? So I'm saying to myself, wait, they buy organic, they are ready to pay more because they don't want chemicals. They don't want sprays. Although I spray. Now, most of my clients that are buying the conventional, of course, they also care about their health. But, maybe a little bit less, but they do. They maybe care about the environment also, but a little bit less. So, both of them getting sprays. I care about the environment the same. So, I'm saying, actually, none of them is getting what they want. I mean, the conventional, they care more about the money. Okay? About also convenience. Because it's not always easy to get the organic produce. So convenience is very important. But all of them, all my clients care about their health. Many of them also about the environment. So none of them get it, by the way, because I'm spraying everything. And then I'm saying to myself, okay, so if I want my clients to get what they want, what they care about, then none of the organic and the conventional is good. Because none of it gives them what they want. And they want something that is healthy, no sprays for themselves. Healthy for the environment, again, no sprays. Maybe also other things, among other. So for this, at this point, I understand that although I practice organic and conventional, I don't like either of them. And this is a very important insight for myself. Bye-bye. Hi there. In my journey to Africa, I understand first in my orchard that sprays are not the solution. Not the organic ones and neither the conventional ones. They are not. I don't like them. I understand another thing, that my clients, the consumers, also don't want sprays. They buy organic maybe, but it's not without sprays. But what they want is something without sprays. I understand that sprays are not good for crop protection in my own orchards. They do not produce the quality of crop protection that I want. Of course, there is chemical residues and it is risking my own life. So at this point, I ask myself, okay, so what do I want? And my answer is pretty easy. I said, what do I want? I want crop protection without sprays. I don't care if it is organic or conventional. I want it to be without sprays. That's it. This is what I want. If I ask myself, and I think that if I ask the consumers, they will say the same. If they have preference, if they have, if someone will ask them and give them the options, they will say without sprays, period. This is my next insight. Bye-bye. Hi there. At last, I'm a farmer and I know what I want, which is so important. I know that I want agriculture without sprays. I also understand that 100% of my clients, my consumers, the ones who buy my fruits, also want and will prefer to buy my fresh produce completely free of sprays. That's a good beginning. But I know it's not easy. I know that today, at this time, it is in almost the mid 90s. It is like 92. I understand that there is no way to have agriculture, advanced agriculture like we do in Israel, without sprays. And I look around and I don't see anyone who is going to offer me a solution, who is going to bring me something that will later enable me to get rid of sprays. I don't see it. So I understand the situation. And that is, if I will wait for a company, for someone to do the job for me, I will never get it. Bye-bye. Hi there. In the early 90s, I am a farmer. I'm growing my own fruits, and I understand that I don't like organic agriculture. I don't like conventional agriculture, which is all there is practically. And I need to understand, I understand that I want agriculture free of sprays. And I start thinking about the business model for myself. And I see a gap in the market. The gap is between the consumers that buy my organic produce, let's say for 100% or 200% extra compared to the conventional produce. There is a big gap, and they don't get really produce free of sprays. And I said to myself, look, Nimrod, if you can produce fresh produce really free of chemical residues, chemical sprays, I think that all people, the ones that buy the normal, the commercial, the conventional produce, and the one that are buying the organic produce, which at this point are very few, by the way, no more than 5 or 10%. I think that all of them would like it. And if you can give this added value, then all of them will be ready to pay for it. Maybe 5, 10, 20, 25, 30% extra. That's good. That's enough. I like it. And so at this point, I start having my business model, which is something, a produce, fresh produce that is not conventional, it's not organic, it is somewhere in between when it comes to the price, but it is focused on no sprays, or very, very, very few sprays. This is the focus. And then you can differentiate yourself compared to everybody else and get the extra. And of course, without sprays, the environment enjoy it a lot. We people enjoy it a lot. There is only one problem. How do you do it? Bye-bye. Hi there. So, slowly I get and clear up my path. I understand my own vision slowly. At this point, in the early 90s, I understand that I don't like chemicals. I don't like sprays, although I'm an expert in spraying, especially low volume. I understand that if I want to, my business model is to differentiate my produce between the organic and the conventional based on no sprays or very, very few sprays. Now that is 30 years ago almost, and at this time no one spoke about anything like it. I understand one other thing as time passes, that no one will know the difference between, let's say, conventional apples, organic apples, or my future apples without sprays, unless it will be branded. So I need a sticker. I need something to differentiate it while it is on the shelf from any other produce. One other thing. In my vision, I don't see this produce in the stores of the organic farmers or organic produce, but where all the produce is going, the big chains. This is where I see it, next to apples that are regularly sprayed. This is what I see, because I want to bring my produce to everybody, to all the people and not just a few percentage of the population that are ready to spend much more money. There is more to it. Bye-bye. Hi there. Until now, I spoke about the environment, that spraying less or stop spraying is really good for the environment. I spoke about people's health, my clients, consumers. I spoke about biological control that will be much better without chemical sprays. But that is not all. I know that if only I will change, that will be very insignificant change to the world. And well, most of the farmers are what we call conventional farmers. How do I make them to change? This is the question that I am asking myself. And I know the answer. I know that it's not going to be by telling them that spraying is not good for your biological control. It's not going to be by telling them, well, it's not good for your health. Because they give a shit about this. They say, well, I do it for so many years. I'm not sensitive to it. I know that it's not going to work by telling them it's not good for your consumers. They don't give a shit as long as people are buying. So I ask myself, what will make them change their habits of spraying? And the one thing that I can think of is, look, if someone would come to me and say, you can make more money if you do something differently, I would like it. And this is exactly what I see. I think that if I will come with a business offer for those farmers other than me that is good for them, they would like it. And then they will be ready to change whatever they do to have better business. Because after all, farmers are business people. This is what they are. But for this, I need to have a good business offer for them that will make sense and will make them safe. Because if something that farmers do not like is something that is not safe. And crop protection, they don't play with it. Bye-bye. Hi there. In the early 90s, the Israeli farmer is spraying a lot. And it doesn't care, by the way, about the cost, because the price in the local market is pretty good. And what is important, that the produce will look good, there will be plenty, and really the yield is very, very high. And so farmers are pretty happy with what they have. And if you are content with what you have, is a very difficult starting point to make a change. How do you change? What I understand is that if I want to make a change, I will have to make it in steps, maybe even small steps. And I'm looking around to see where I can start that step. And what I see in my own orchards is that I spray a lot for fruit flies. And almost all the sprays are during the harvest season or just a little bit before that. And that makes sometimes 50% of the insecticide sprays, all the way until the harvest day. And I know that those sprays are really, really bad for the biological balance. Sometimes the results are terrible, and I do get infestation from fruit flies, although I spray so much. So I think to myself, that could be a good starting point, because this is a great pain for me, but also for many other farmers. Bye-bye. Hi there. Just to remind you and me, we are talking about my own journey from Israel, being a farmer, to Africa. And I said it didn't take a day or two. It took many years. And the journey was not only physical, taking the airplane, but it was it required so many things throughout so many years. Now, at the beginning of the 90s, that is more or less like 1994, I already understand and having the concept that I don't like conventional agriculture, organic agriculture, because I spray both of them. Yes, different chemicals, but still I spray, and I don't like the concept of spraying chemicals to the environment. I understand that consumers would like to have something free completely of sprays, regardless if they buy organic or conventional. I understand that with all the chemicals, still most of the farmers of the world are poor. They are unable to have good results and even to finance themselves. And although this is not my own problem, I understand that there is this problem, and I also want to bring my impact. I don't want to do more of the same. I want to do something different. And slowly things start coming together for me. And I understand that to bring that different or this change, it will have to make sense from a business-wise. Commercially, it will have to make sense for farmers, for consumers, everybody. But how? Well, if you start with a pain, you have better chances. And the greatest pain there is fruit flies. For anyone who is growing fruits in the Mediterranean region, in tropics, it's about fruit flies. This was my case. And so I choose to start with fruit flies, thinking that if I can make it with fruit flies, not because they are the most or the less difficult, but because they are the most difficult to challenge, and because the number of sprays required to control fruit flies is the highest. If I manage to do this and keep it the quality of export of commercial farmers in Israel, not the organic ones, not the local farmers, then that will be a good beginning. But how do you do it? Next chapter. Hi there. The year is 1994, 26 years ago. And I start working on looking for my own orchards for a solution for fruit flies completely free of sprays. This is what I want. I go to distributors, I go to companies in Israel and ask them for such a solution. They don't have any. I try whatever there is. I try traps. I try nets. I make my own traps. I start like bottles and so on. This is very, very beginning. And it's not really working. I invite all the experts to give me their advice, what to do. Really not working so well. And at this point, I understand that I will need to make greater effort. And I'm already 3 years now, or 4 years almost, in the academy. I study agriculture, crop protection, entomology, and at this point I decide to continue my study. And this is my grand plan, to continue my study and study about fruit flies and to do PhD about fruit flies ecology. And the other thing is to start and develop a solution, technology that is nothing like we know and will give me what I want. Of course, at this point, I don't know what we know and what not. I just decide to start developing a technology that will suit my own needs, my own dreams, my own desires. Bye-bye. Hi there. Okay, we're still talking about Africa, but it will take some time. Believe me, it took me some time. But I hope that at this point you start to understand why when I said that Africa was not a pure business decision, I hope you start to understand why. Well, from 1994, I'm going in two paths. One is the academy. I don't know, but I can tell you that I still have 10 years ahead in the academy to study the ecology and the metapopulation ecology of fruit flies, and I become an expert in this field. The other path is the technology. I know exactly what I want. I want technology that will enable me to control fruit flies with no sprays. And infestation will be as good as with sprays. Very simple. But in the 90s, this is impossible. Not only it is impossible, all the professors, all the experts are telling me, Nimrod, doesn't make sense because sprays are so good. They are so effective. Nobody cares that we spray. Everybody is happy with it. The price is good. And by the way, if you want something without sprays, you know there is this sterile insect technique, SIT. It's coming soon to Israel, and this will completely eliminate the needs for sprays for the control of fruit flies. Well, I would love to believe them. I would love to trust them. And not that I don't, but I don't see it happening in the real life. And so I continue, and every year I do some other trick, some other device for the control of fruit flies, and I try it again and again in my own orchards. And finally, in 1998, something happens. Next one. Bye-bye. Hi there. Yes, I don't like chemical sprays. I like life. And I like to be healthy. And I like my consumers to be healthy. And I want farmers to want to change the crop protection regime to something different. And I want consumers to pay them more so they will change. Now, from 94 until 98, I'm trying to look for all kind of things to have different crop protection for fruit flies, but without much success. Well, it is coming little by little. But then something happened in 98, and it is something terrible. While I was spraying, I took a break and I go for a 10 o'clock coffee break with my fellow working in the orchards. We drink coffee, we eat some biscuits, and then we go back to work, and I would go back to spraying. Well, I parked my car with the sprayer, and when I went back, I started the tractor standing on the ground, and I put my foot on the clutch, started the tractor, and I didn't notice that the tractor is in first gear. And when I let go of the clutch, the tractor started moving ahead. Now the tractor has one big wheel, and this big wheel is running me over. And as I'm standing, like you see me now, just pushing me and straight like this. Okay, so if this is my legs, this is my head. Now I'm lying down on the asphalt below the tractor, and the tractor is simply running from my foot all the way through my shoulder and my head, and keep on going. That's the accident, and I almost die over there. I break my hip, I break my shoulder. I didn't know it at the time. I tried to get up and run and stop the tractor, and I fall down a few meters after, just because I didn't know and the velocity, but I couldn't walk after that. That's it. And the tractor just kept on until it stopped in a wall, a few, like 30 meters ahead. This is a tragedy, but it is a beginning of a wonderful change. Bye-bye. Hi there. Well, the last chapter I spoke about the accident that I had that almost cost me my life, when a tractor ran over me, and literally all over me from foot to head, and kept on. And what happened is that while it was going on top of my chest, I shouted because the air just came out. A big shout came out, and then my friends came from the packing house. They heard it, and they saw me lying down. They called an ambulance, and shortly after, the ambulance is coming and taking me to the hospital. At this point, I have no clue how is my spine, if I will ever be able to walk, and how bad is the accident. I'm getting to the hospital, and I'm thinking to myself, first of all, even if I will not be able to walk, well, I will find something to do. I'm not in despair. A few hours later, my wife, she heard it at work, and she's coming to visit me. And the first thing that she's coming with is a pack of toilet paper. Yes, why? Because I had an allergy always, since I was in first grade, when I fell down on my back, which was just a few meters, by the way, from the place where the tractor ran over me. There was a very, very high like maybe 4 or 5 meters high of cotton where I played as a kid, and I fell back on my back and my breath stopped. And since then I had allergy, terrible allergy, always running nose. I couldn't breathe. That was terrible. So first thing that my wife bring me is a packet of toilet paper. And then she see that I don't need it. I don't need the toilet paper. I get it. My allergy is gone. And as hours pass and days pass, I see that I don't have the allergy. This accident took the allergy from me. Wow. This is great. A few days after, I get back from, I'm leaving the hospital and going back to the kibbutz. I cannot move anything. My legs are like this. That's it. I cannot move them. Then start a new chapter. Bye-bye.